This is a short video about how we installed a Hooker Blackheart catback exhaust system onto a 2016 WRX. So we open the box and this is what you get. A couple of mufflers and then a two-piece Y-pipe. Here you'll see we're shining a flashlight through the pipe, and obviously this muffler is pretty much straight through. Bit questionable if that's completely street legal, and certainly get you some trouble here. But it's in the kit, so we're putting it on. I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing you how to remove the old exhaust system. It's obvious if you're at this point of watching this video, you don't need my help in undoing a half a dozen bolts. Comes off pretty easily. This special tool, which looks a lot like a Craftsman slotted screwdriver bent on one end, because it is extremely useful for prying off the rubber hangers from especially rusted hanger brackets. You will jam the end of the screwdriver in between the rubber and the hanger, and that allows you to squirt some penetrating oil in there. Also, it's still useful for its original intended purpose, which of course is opening cans of paint. So we measured the pipe size, new versus old, and you can see the new pipe is 75 millimeters, which is not quite 3 inches. Now these two flanges are quite different. You can see the new one is a flat 2-bolt flange that does not have provision for the swivel ball joint system that Subaru uses in the middle of the car. The reason to keep this ball socket is so that it isolates the engine movement from the rest of the exhaust system. Now if it was solid, it would mean that the entire exhaust system would rotate with the engine, and there just isn't enough room to do that. The tips on the mufflers will start hitting the bumper, so it really has to be kept. Anti-seize all the bolts. I guess that's pretty obvious. Installation is straightforward. You're going to put the mufflers onto the hangers. They fit quite nicely. Next step is to attach the Y-pipe using the gaskets and nuts and bolts. And that positions the mufflers, the Y-pipe, and gets us set up to move to the front. So then we're going to install the front pipe.
Well,
okay, this big clamp, you tighten up the bolts, and as you can see, it pulls the exhaust system across the car about 4 inches or 3 inches or something, and it then makes contact with the heat shield, which then pushes it towards the gas tank, and the exhaust system is now metal to metal on a plastic gas tank. So this is just completely unacceptable. So more TIG welding and fitting of a small sliver of 3-inch tubing, because I don't have any 75 millimeter tubing. Okay, we've made it fit. Now back to the front, it was obvious that this ball socket had to be changed and replaced. So the only thing we could really do was to cut off the original Y-pipe ball socket flange, and then using another section of tubing, we fabricated the connection. So in conclusion, what do we have here? Well, by the time we got it installed, it actually looks pretty good, and it certainly sounds better than the stock system. But the fitment issues are just completely unacceptable. This is not ready for prime time. Make the noise.